p.m. in Kumba. Dear televiewers, thank you so much for joining us on this third edition of the news in the English language this week. I'm major stories this evening. Circulation was partially paralyzed today along the Kumba-Mutengene highway as inhabitants of Bulu and Kumbu quarters promised to continuously block the road along the Buea-Mutengene stretch if electricity is not restored to their quarters soonest. They obstructed traffic for hours today and only left when they were assured or promised that by tomorrow electricity will be restored. Our reporter Rex Afon in Buea was at the scene, and he will tell us more about the grievances of those visually impaired persons, to be more precise, in this news edition. And over in Mali, General Assimi Goïta makes his first public outing after the bloody attack which killed the country's defense minister, his wife, and their 2 children. Those are our lead stories viewers. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for your usual confidence. Inhabitants of Bulu and Kumbu quarters in Buea have promised to continuously block circulation along the Buea-Mutengene highway if electricity is not restored to their quarters soonest. They obstructed traffic for hours today and only left the road when they were assured that by tomorrow Thursday evening, electricity will be restored in those 2 localities. Rex Afon was at the scene today. He now tells us more.
For us, travelers from Kumba, Douala, Limbe and beyond, either entering or leaving Buea, were stranded between mile 16 and mile 17.
I've been here almost about 2 hours something. I'm coming from Douala. I think the government and Eneo should really try to do something about this light issue. Honestly, if you ask my opinion, the women are right because no human being can live without light.
Residents of Kombo and Bulu quarters at mile 16 used their bodies and objects to block movement, singing a familiar song, "We Want Light."
It is not easy here. The women have sworn not to leave the road until the transformer is brought back to their locality.
During the 3 months period of blackouts, countless illicit and unimaginable activities have occurred.
Children are going to school to write GCE in a month's time. They can't read. We have cases there where they are killing people now inside the streets. Yesterday we had 4 cases of boys that were stabbed at 7 p.m. in the night. It's a situation that has to be handled. The government has promised us how many times that they are going to send us transformer, no transformer. Blind children can no longer carry water to get to go to school because their borehole can no longer pump water. As the women, we have suffered until we are tired. That's why we take to the street today. The government should give us solutions.
This is now the place where visually impaired trainees fetch water. The lack of electricity to power the water supply has left them vulnerable to reckless drivers. Some have been struck, others in fear of being hit have fallen and suffered bruises. Tragically, the visually impaired girls have faced even worse dangers.
Inside school, junkies and the climb up blackness to rape them.
It took the intervention of the divisional officer for Buea, Abba Abdurrahman, for movement to finally resume. This protest joins many others that have recently erupted across Buea, all demanding the same thing, an end to the constant blackouts.
Friday, if light not come down tomorrow, Friday, man just be here.
And Southwest local authorities, particularly in the Buea subdivision, have implemented measures to combat the consumption of psychoactive substances, especially among young people. And to respect those measures, inspections were conducted by the divisional officer in the streets, in shops, and also commercial centers to ensure compliance with the law. Cedric Chakutio reports.
Local authorities in Buea subdivision, southwest region of the country, have strengthened measures of the ban on stimulant drinks few months after the governor of the southwest region prohibited their sale. Under the supervision of the Buea divisional officer Abba Abdurrahman, inspections were conducted in streets, shops and commercial premises to ensure the respect of the law.
We are on the field, like you have observed by yourself, to make sure the governor's order banning those drinks that are affecting our young people is effective. So we have been going through stores and even in the markets and all of that to make sure those store owners stop selling those drinks. For sure, they are all aware of the ban. For majority of them, they have stopped selling those drinks. For some who were not aware, we have seized some of them and they themselves will also answer.
The main objective of this action is to reduce the consumption of products considered harmful among young people.
To the general population and even those who import those goods, they should know that it is completely prohibited and they will be arrested should in case they carry and bring, because it affects the health of our young people.
This intensification in Buea is part of a broader movement in the southwest region. Remember, the divisional officer of TICO had implemented a similar local ban on wake-up and bullet drinks on March 17, 2026, following protests by women in Mutengene against drug abuse and insecurity.
And now over to Etea in the Sanaga Maritime Division of the Electoral region. Residents of the Mbanda quarter in Etea 1 municipality decry the problem of poor road infrastructure and lack of constant electricity supply, which they say is negatively affecting economic activities in the area. Bike riders as well complain of frequent breakdown on the road, and their plea now is for the local authorities to rehabilitate secondary roads in Etea. Mala Glory has more.
Several potholes that have been transformed into mini lakes, making it difficult for vehicles to navigate through. This is Mbanda, a neighborhood in Etea 1 municipality. Residents say the situation is even worse when it rains.
Everywhere there's been pothole everywhere. So we cannot even run the bike, we cannot even make the bike here. There's a pothole here, August, June like that, then it will not be easy for us here. So they should try and do something here. We're asking the mayor to do something for us here in Banda.
Many accidents also occur on this stretch.
C'est très très mauvais, comme ça on tombe à la tomate tous les jours.
It is the same situation in a called Bileng and the same technique where the deplorable state of the road affects mostly students who walk through on daily basis. And adding to the problem of road, the people also complain of frequent power outages in the area.
En dehors de voir même la route, il y a aussi le problème de lumière. La lumière, c'est que même s'il y a un petit avancement comme ça, là, on coupe la lumière. On coupe.
Poor road network in Banda poses significant challenge to road users, especially bike riders whose motorbikes get damaged every day.
In Banda, we are not even feeling that. Look at, you can even buy this bike like that. It will not be more than 1 month like that. Everything will be scattered. The pothole everywhere. When you enter, the water's empty inside the engine.
In the meantime, the residents continue to suffer on the stretch while they plead with the authorities concerned to address the problem of bad roads in Etea 1.
And the trade fair organized by the Civil Society Forum of the Electoral region at South Effect in Akwa, Yarindwala, recently gathered many entrepreneurs to showcase their local innovation and promote social cohesion. The event addressed the critical paradox of young people who work tirelessly yet stay in poverty, operating under the strategic theme of strengthening partnerships between civil society organizations and local authorities. Our reporter Law Mayeru was there.
Under the theme, what CSO LLA entrepreneurship can reduce poverty and inequality in the littoral region, the event showcased a rich variety of handmade products from across the country, a powerful display of social cohesion and local development. The forum's primary goal was to transform the exciting silent collaboration between the civil society and the local authorities into formal partnership. The vision is based on co-construction, pooling the unique skills of every entrepreneur to build a collective front against poverty. Participants urge that hard work alone isn't enough to break the cycle of precariousness. By aligning the creativity of the youths with the strategic supports of local government, the initiative aimed to turn entrepreneurial effort into real improved living conditions. As the event concluded in Aqua, the message was clear: to defeat scourge of inequality, the littoral region must rely on collaboration, recognition, and collective action.
Amid ongoing national challenges, efforts are intensifying to encourage greater civic participation among Cameroonians. Members of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement and the CRM political party are in Bonandale in the Douala 4 subdivision to sensitize the population on the need to register on the electoral registers. Immaculate Fogwe tells us more.
Amid growing concerns over uncollected garbage on the streets and the extremely poor condition of the Carrefour-Sanseng Road in Bonandale, Douala 4 subdivision, members of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement CRM party are actively moving through the area with megaphones. A number of residents, convinced by the campaign, have begun registering at Elecam stands.
So we are really pleased that Elecam has come to meet us here, and we can get our electoral cards and we take our role as the good citizens of Cameroon. You know, the fate of the country depends on us, and if you get your electoral card, you're also contributing to determining that fate. So I would like to call on others, if you can stop by and get your card. It doesn't take long. You just have to be there with your ID card, and it takes a few minutes and you have your electoral card.
Although the exact dates for the upcoming municipal and legislative elections in Cameroon have not yet been announced, CRM militants alongside other residents of Carrefour-Sanseng have expressed deep concerns about the piles of waste and deteriorating road conditions marked by numerous potholes. They collectively agree that meaningful change can only be achieved if citizens register and vote for leaders they believe are capable of improving the unhygienic and degraded state of their neighborhood. Despite the challenges our country is facing, we as a political party believe it's necessary to encourage Cameroonians to register and obtain their voters' cards. Whenever we notice Elecam agents in a neighborhood, we seize the opportunity to call on people to register. We inform communities about where Elecam agents are located and urge them to take action. For several years now, the CRM party has been actively working on the ground, encouraging Cameroonians to participate in the electoral process. Our focus is on elections because we believe that real change can only come when citizens are registered and actively involved. The CRM will continue to fight for Cameroonians to register and make their voices heard. According to Elecam statistics, ahead of the 2025 presidential elections, over 8 million Cameroonians had registered on the electoral roll.
Now let's talk about the death of the health minister of Bangladesh after allegedly contracting malaria from Cameroon during the WTO summit in Yaoundé, and he also allegedly died of malaria. Cameroon's health minister has rejected claims that the country failed to warn delegates about malaria risks at the 14th edition of the World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference in Yaoundé after Bangladeshi media linked the death of Commerce Minister Mahbub Rahman to a lack of health communication during the Yaoundé event. For me, Armstrong Sander tells us more.
News Bangladesh is among the news platforms in Bangladesh to link the death of the country's commerce minister Mahbub Rahman to Cameroon. In a publication on April 24, 2026, Views Bangladesh says his family has alleged that the government's top official was not given any warning about the risks of malaria before his trip for the World Trade Organization's conference in Yaoundé, Cameroon. In a similar but less emphatic tone, another Bangladesh news site, The Business Standard, says Mahbub traveled to Cameroon from the 26th to the 29th of March 2026 to attend the 4th Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization, and after returning home, he fell sick. On April 11th, 2026, he was admitted to the hospital on April 13th, 2026 after a sharp drop in blood levels, to be later diagnosed with malaria during treatment. The news site cited an epidemiologist who says they made everything possible to treat him, but the malaria parasite in Africa was extremely strong and different. Publications and affirmations that were then relayed by some individuals and bloggers, including Cameroonians, to the shock and dissatisfaction of Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manahuda Malashi. On X, the minister set the records clear, declaring that he has taken note with great disappointment of the contents of a post by a Cameroonian compatriot from the diaspora who claims that Cameroon did not sufficiently communicate on the malaria situation, particularly to foreign participants at the 14th World Trade Organization's ministerial conference. He continued that contrary to these claims, and while expressing his deep sorrow and sincere condolences following the death of a senior Bangladeshi official upon returning from the 14th World Trade Organization's ministerial conference, he wishes to recall that rigorous health measures were put in place by Cameroon during this event. An official health information document was handed to all delegates. It was also available at some 164 accommodation sites as well as the Yaoundé Conference Center, according to Manahuda Malashi. In addition, rapid malaria diagnostic tests and anti-malaria treatments were available free of charge through advanced medical posts set up at the conference venue and in several major hotels in Yaoundé, the minister insists. Finally, the minister concludes that Cameroon, which hosted the ministerial conference on malaria on March 2024, has for several years been implementing effective strategies to combat this disease, with prevalence steadily declining in the country.
Unfortunately enough, for real, malaria is a killer disease, and every infection must be treated urgently or as a matter of urgency. Now let's talk about the just ended Cameroon International Film Festival, CAMIF, in Buea. Several influential personalities in the movie and media sectors have been inducted into the Wall of Fame in Buea. This was at the close of this year's edition of the Cameroon Film Festival, CAMIF. Amongst those recognized was the National Communication Boss, Joseph Chebonken Kalabupse. Rex Afon has more from Buea.
With a humble heart and a grateful spirit, Joseph Chebonken Kalabupse joined others at the Cameroon Film Festival to be inducted into the Wall of Fame.
Gives me some degree of humility to understand that when I was on the media, a lot of people were listening to me and to be able to craft a personality in me.
He hopes that his decades of service as a journalist will serve as a source of inspiration to the younger generation, especially those entering the profession, considering the vital role journalism plays in the development of a country.
I hope that what I have done on the media has helped the younger ones to be able to pick up when you want to speak on the air. You speak to a wider public and you speak the language the way it's supposed to be spoken, so that those you speak to the wide and broad public. And so I remember some years when I was running sports commentary, somebody, one BBC reporter, asked me whether I studied English out of Cameroon. I told him no. I studied in Moi, my home village. That's where I grew up, and that's where I learned how to speak the English language.
Several others, including journalists and movie actors from both within Cameroon and abroad, were also inducted into the Wall of Fame, a platform created to celebrate excellence.
Congratulations. And now in news out of our national frontiers, Mali is on the edge tonight as junta leader General Assimi Goïta, in his first public appearance or outing since the weekend's bloody assault that killed the defense minister of the country, his wife and their 2 kids, he vows to crush insurgent groups behind coordinated attacks that rocked Bamako and key northern strongholds. And over to Russia, Moscow, Denis Sassou Nguesso is seeking to deepen strategic cooperation with Vladimir Putin as both leaders points to growing prospects for stronger bilateral ties. Innocent Azir with our foreign page roundup.
Mali's military ruler Assimi Goïta has vowed a fierce crackdown following coordinated insurgent attacks that have shaken both the capital, Bamako, and the country's volatile north. In his first public appearance since the weekend assault, Goïta declared the situation under control, promising to neutralize those behind the violence. The attacks, claimed by jihadist fighters linked to Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal-Muslimin and allied separatist groups, targeted key military positions, including areas near Bamako's airport and strategic northern zones. The violence has dealt a heavy blow to the military leadership, with Defense Minister Sadio Kamara among those killed. Armed groups have also reportedly pushed government-backed forces out of the northern town of Kidal, intensifying fears of a widening territorial battle. Authorities say operations are ongoing, and in a chilling message, insurgents now claim the capital is under siege, raising fresh concerns over security in a city of over 4 million people. Strengthening strategic alliances was at the heart of talks in Moscow this Wednesday, April 29th, as Denis Sassou Nguesso pushes for deeper cooperation with Russia during an official visit expected to last several days. The Congolese leader says the mission is clear: to reinforce long-standing relations and unlock new joint projects, particularly in security, defense, and economic development. He insists both countries already have the right conditions to successfully implement these initiatives. Moments later, Vladimir Putin echoed that optimism during the same meeting at the Kremlin, pointing to good prospects for expanding ties with the Republic of Congo across key sectors, including energy, agriculture, logistics, and geological exploration. Putin also revealed growing interest from Russian companies seeking to enter the Congolese market, citing political stability as a major advantage, while congratulating Sassou Nguesso on his recent re-election. A diplomatic engagement now shifting gears from decades of cooperation to concrete economic ambitions.
And now let's talk sports, viewers. The FIFA Council meeting in Vancouver has approved new red card rules for leaving the pitch in protest. In the course of the meeting, it was announced that the total prize and participation amount rose to over $871 million with each of the 48 teams receiving $10 million for preparation. Our reporter Manjikan Gabriel says the rules and regulations are designed to bring changes, ensure faster and more disciplined play during the tournament that will be hosted by the USA, Canada, and Mexico as from June this year.
26th FIFA World Cup will introduce strict rules to curb time wasting and improve flow, including a 10-second substitution limit, 5-second restriction on throw-ins and goal kicks, and an automatic 1 minute off-field wait for treated players. Additionally, only team captains may address referees. Players must leave the field within 10 seconds, or the incoming player must wait 1 minute before entering. Goal kicks and throw-ins have a strict 5-second limit. Exceeding this results in a loss of possession or a corner kick for delayed goal kicks. Players receiving on-field medical treatment must stay off the pitch for 1 minute. A white card system might be implemented for temporal 10-minute sin bins, though 2026 primarily will focus on stricter yellow card enforcement for dissent. Only the team captain can speak to the referee. Others will receive a yellow card for crowding officials. Yellow card amnesty will be introduced at the FIFA World Cup this year, as records will be wiped twice after the group stage and again after the quarterfinals to reduce suspensions for key matches. Players covering their mouths during confrontations with opponents face a straight red card. After what happened during the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, FIFA, in anticipation, has come out with a strict rule that a player or team walking off in protest may result in a forfeit, with a red card issued to the player. VAR scope now covers second yellow cards, resulting into a red and wrongly awarded corner kicks that lead to goals. There will be the implementation of AI-powered player modeling for improved offside decisions. These changes are designed for the 48-team, 104 matches format to ensure faster, more disciplined play.
Thanks, Matt. On that sports note, we come to the end of this edition of the news. Viewers, thank you so much for always being with us. Our programs continue tonight. Equinoxe will be yours at 7 p.m. That is in about 3 minutes or so, or 30 minutes or so, with Serge Alain, and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. with Irish Ngonomala. I will be with you again tomorrow, same time, God willing. For now, it's bye-bye from us.